What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Have some very exciting news, and that is the long-awaited Utopia The Lightning is finally coming to the TCG, and this thing is going to be here in like a split second. It says that it's going to be released in the Yu-Gi-Oh! ZIL Volume 8, and this is coming out March 1st, 2016. That's basically like 5 weeks away. So, I mean, we'll be getting this before the Millennium Pack. We'll be getting this before Shining Victories. This is something that a lot of people are going to want to pick up because even though we're not in the ZIL era anymore, the rank 4 XC is still king. And even cards like this that are like you can summon using rank 4s, like they're still pretty much king. I mean, look how good that Cyber Dragon Infinity is right now. Rafflesia, there's Castel and all the other good cards. I mean, hell, they had the ban Exoton Knight. Hopefully he comes back. We're also going to be getting Stardust Chronicle Spark Dragon. So let me look over these cards right quick. I already know this card's effect, and I already know this off the top of my head. If this card would have came out during the ZIL era, it would have been like pretty much staple in just about any deck that I can think of for the most part. All right, so it's rank 5, it's number S39, Utopia The Lightning. It requires 3 level 5 light monsters to summon, but much like Cyber Dragon Infinity, you're never really going to summon it. By that condition, there's an alternate way to make it, and if Cyber Infinity has taught us anything, that people will almost always use the alternative route because a lot of times it's just easier. It says you can also exceed summon this card by using a rank 4 Utopia monster you control as the exceed material. The exceed materials on that monster transfer over to Utopia The Lightning. Says that this guy cannot be used as an exceed material for an exceed summon. So you can't slap like a Gaia Dragon Thunder Charger on top of this guy. You can't, do anything else with him. Once he's on the field, that's pretty much it. You're locked into this guy. It says if this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Once per chain during damage calculation in either player's turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster while it has while it has a Utopia XC monster as XC material, you can detach 2 XC materials from this card. This card's attack becomes 5,000 during that damage calculation only. So this card is just flat out incredible. First off, it is basically an Armades. It locks out, cards and effects when this card battles, and that means if your opponent attacks it too, it still gets this effect. So it's like even better than something like Armades. Secondly, having a Utopia as XC material is really easy. Like the thing is, you can obviously just summon number 39 Utopia, and then you can rank it up into this, and you can detach the 2 materials that you use to make Utopia, and you could still obviously have this guy's effect. Or you could even go up a level, and you could, if you have the space, you could go into Utopia Ray, and that way you would have 2 Utopia, you basically have 4 materials, and you'd have 2 Utopia rank 4 materials, so you'd be able to use the guy's effect twice. So I mean, if depends on how many times you plan on using this card. But I think if, you're going to plan on not winning that turn, that may be the best bet if you have space. The fact that its attack only goes to 5,000 during 1 damage calculation isn't really that big of a deal. It is still 2,500, and it doesn't have any restriction. It's not like your opponent doesn't take the whole damage or anything like that. Like, just think about if you just have any, rank 4 or something. Like if you have a rank 4 play, and we know how easy that is with Norton or something, and your opponent happens to have like a little monster on field, like a monster that's 1,000 or something like that. Like you go into Utopia The Lightning, and you could be doing like 4K damage, with pretty much no restrictions. They can't use Honest or anything weird like that. And the card is just, in my opinion, it's fantastic. Like, I'm definitely going to get one. I'm running Monarchs right now. They don't really use the extra deck, but when I go and start playing decks that use the extra deck again, primarily like rank 4, I will definitely be playing this card. So, I mean, shit, I'm going to pick a copy up. I imagine that it's been a while since I bought a Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, but I bought some back in the day when like Thunder King Ryo and Light and Darkness Dragon were promos. I think the mangas are like $8. Go to my local bookstore, pick up a manga. Next card is Stardust Chronicle Spark Dragon. It is crazy that they are still making Stardust cards, and we are so far removed from 5Ds, and they're like still making. I heard that the manga is like still going on, which is weird because I don't watch the show. Doesn't the show have like a conclusion? Even though it's just mind blowing because the characters from 5Ds are in ZIL, so alternate dimension, all that shit. Anyways, this guy's level 10. I think I counted it a few times. Yeah, I believe he's level 10. He requires a tuner, synchro monster, plus 1 or more non-tuner synchro monsters. So it's not exactly like it requires 2 synchros, not exactly the easiest thing to summon. It says must be synchro summoned and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can banish 1 synchro monster from your graveyard. This card is unaffected by all other card effects for the rest of the turn. That's not bad. It says if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, battle or card effect, you can target one of your banished dragon type synchro monsters, special summon it. To be honest, I'm not quite sure that this card is really just like, I don't think it's worth all the trouble of going through this. The fact is, you have to have a tuner synchro monster. There's not a ton of those, plus a non-tuner synchro monster. Like, you have to have 2 synchros to sync into this guy, and that's kind of difficult. And then for you to really use this effect, you have to get a banished dragon. So if, let's say that you synchro up into this guy, whatever you synchroed up, using at least one of those motherfuckers has to be a dragon. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, because when you activate this guy's effect and then he just happens to die, because I mean, it's only 3,000 attack, it's probably going to die in this day and age. You won't be able to get anything back. Now, not being able, like, being unaffected by all card effects, that's pretty legitimate. And considering that you need 2 synchros to summon him, you should be able to activate his effect twice. But again, one of those has to be a dragon. To me, I think cards like this, I think when Shining Victories comes out and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon comes out, and that card is so easily summonable, especially in like decks like Dragoonity and whatnot, I think that card is going to outshine all of these type of cards. Like, I think cards like this are going to be compared to Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. It's a synchro that requires another synchro, but when you look at something like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, it just negates anything, and then it gains attack, and then it's just fucking so difficult to kill. And you know, it's just, I don't know, arguably it's comparable to cards like this, but it's just better, and they have like basically the same stat line too. So this card to me seems like it's more trouble than it's worth because of the summoning conditions. Still a nice card. Maybe you're a Stardust collector or something like that. This card we just need to get this. This card is so good. If this card would have came out when Towers was out, this would have been like the easiest out the Towers ever, because you would have activated the effect, and yeah, it would have been unaffected by Towers, I think. Even if Towers did take 500 from it. No, because it becomes 5,000. So yeah, this card would have just shit on Towers. So I don't know. I think a lot of those big boss monsters that are hard to run over, this card is going to start bringing them down in size. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always.